And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's the weekend. For us, it was the weekend of prom. And by us, I mean Miranda, not you and I. How you doing?
Facts. Yeah, man. I stay living vicariously through you with these teacher stories with Marana High School in particular. Shout out to the Tigers. Prom season. So you were telling me right before we clicked the record button that promposals are still happening and very important these days.
Yes, they are. And I think they're really cool. I love a good promposal. I'm a sucker for a good promposal. Hear me out. I'm saying this up front before I bury it. I am a sucker for a good promposal. If you were asking somebody out that you aren't currently dating, make a big deal out of it. I'm here for it. If you are dating, who the hell else are you going to go with? Why are we doing promposals if you're in a relationship? And why are you telling your significant other that you need to have one? What a dumb thing to do. Imagine for a second, there's an event, there's a gala, and your wife goes, somebody else asked, so I'm going with them.
That would not be ideal.
No, that's the end. That's it. That's the end of that relationship.
That's probably it.
Papers are being filed immediately.
Papers are being filed.
If I'm in high school and somebody's like, well, I'm going with somebody else because you didn't prompose to me, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, so we're done. And then that would be the end of it immediately.
Right. And so my thought is the desire for this is clearly a social media thing, right? We want the video, we want the likes,
public clout. It's all it's
the
for.
Comments. It's to capture it for IG.
And then who's it for?
It's for your hundreds and thousands of followers. Bro.
It's not for the girl you asked. Mm-hmm. You're not putting it out there for her.
Yeah. This sounds like a very logical adult take on
And I try to
on the current state of teeds.
I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to teach.
You're influencing the hearts and minds of the youth. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm clearly not. Because my
not
favorite,
in this case.
My favorite promposal was this year. I'm not going to say who it was for obvious reasons. I'm not going to be like, hey, this minor proposed to his minor girlfriend. I'm not doing that. But it was epic. They are dating. I was like, that was really cool. And one of them was like, wasn't that awesome? I was like, yeah, kind of a waste of time, but it was really cool. That's all I could think is like, you were nervous about doing it. You spent hours on it. And ultimately all you had to do was go buy tickets and go, hey, I got us prom tickets. Oh, cool. Cause we're dating. And that's it.
Yeah. And you made it clear at the beginning of this promo that you're not anti-promposal.
No,
there's a distinction between I'm asking you to prom.
Couple promposals are weird.
As a first way to let you know I'm feeling you and I'm feeling this.
Yes.
Versus we are an established couple.
Yep.
And we've been together. There's a distinction here, and
there's no risk. There's no risk.
There's no risk.
They should include risk. Otherwise, it's not a proposal of any kind. Right. A proposal can be rejected. That's what a proposal is.
And if it's rejected, I guess in this case, I'm thinking of a heterosexual pair. I'm thinking of men. We have to take the no and okay, well, at least I tried, and thank you for, I was gonna say thank you for your feedback, but thank you for, like that. That's inherently what you.
What can I do better for the next?
Right. Can you give me exactly constructive criticism?
Yeah.
How was my grammar? You have to accept that a no is a possibility, and I think as men sometimes historically. We've kind of struggled with that. Like if it's a no, it's a no. And okay, I respect that. And, thank you for your time.
Yeah, it's also the fun of the promposal. It's
it's
the fun of asking.
And be cordial. Yeah.
I had to ask in high school, and it wasn't a promposal. It was I caught you in the hallway. I isolated you. Nobody around, but in a big public place. And I was like, do you have a prom date? Would you like to go to prom with me? And it was yes. And I was like, awesome. I'll talk to you about it later. And then I went to my class. We handled business and I got the hell out of there. And that's all it was. The other
Yeah,
time,
and you had to do it in person. There was no apps. There was no tech. Like this was an in-person
yes,
opportunity.
the other
which is
times I've seen
categorically
anything like
different.
this,
Yeah,
it's all been like
yeah,
interpersonal, or
right.
I feel like
It's a different era.
cell phones changed the game. And
Yes, they
then
did.
on top of that, it became social media, to your point. And now it's like this thing to do. It's like gender reveal parties. It's just this thing to do. And nobody questions, like, why are we doing this thing? And if you want to make a big deal of like that, I'm crushing on this girl. She's single. I don't think she has a prom date yet. I just found out. And now you're going to go make a big deal out of this thing and do a promposal. Awesome. I support you. I can't wait to see what you come up with. You've been dating for 2 years. And plan to live with each other after high school. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Just get your degree first, please.
Please.
Like just focus on you and your pad, and then all of that will come. We promise. Brad, so not only were there promposals this week, there was a solar eclipse. Yeah, that happened. We also received a lot of positive feedback from our most recent episode. So I know we just saved the gratitude for the end, but it feels fitting that we thank you all for all of you listening, watching. Thank you so much for your continued support. We really felt it last week with our WrestleMania recap. It just feels so good to know people are enjoying the content, Brad. So we thank you for being here. You released a new article, gimmickinfringementpod.com. You want to promote that before we get into our first seg?
Yeah, social media was crazy this week. Crazy. Misogyny abound. People taking out people that are in media. I don't understand content creators going after content creators as their content. It doesn't make sense to me. Drives me crazy. Leave Denise alone. She's awesome. Leave these people alone. Leave them to their devices. But also being attacked after Mania was Samantha Irvin's genuine emotion calling WrestleMania, and I felt the way about it. So I wrote an article about gatekeeping in the professional wrestling community. I'd appreciate it if you checked it out. Hopefully it came together well. It was sort of off the hip. I'm going to write very passionately about this and then try to tone it down afterward. And I think I did that because it was pretty angry when I first started writing this. I'm like, what did she do to you? Absolutely crazy. And people are recognizing her as maybe the best of all time already in this stage of her career. And to have people go, I don't want to see that is nuts. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely nuts, man.
Yeah, man. And not that you need affirmation, but you did that thing and you did it well. This makes me go back to in both of these instances from this past week in the wrestling social space. Correct me if I'm wrong. These were men attacking these amazingly talented women. So it just goes back to like, as men, what are we?
Older white men specifically.
What are we doing out here? Like, come on, be better. And as you're fond of saying, Brad, touch grass and don't be problematic. But something that is not problematic, Brad, you and I are ready to bring back one of our very special segments. I don't remember the last episode where we had it.
It's been a while,
but
it was all you last time.
It is back this time. Both of us have updates. Let's get into it. It is time for Trap Tales. All right, B, you got to kick us off, man. You made your return to the gym in recent weeks. Fill us in. How are you feeling? How's the return? How big was the pop in Miranda?
It was great. I saw a couple of people that I recognized. I saw a former student today. I saw a current student earlier in the week, and also a guy that I met at the gym. His kid goes to my school. All these things, and great to reconnect and see some familiar faces. What was not so great was the apocalyptic nature of the gym. The Smith machine has paper towel wrapped around it that says "Do not use." There are Post-it notes on one of the treadmill that says "Do not use." And all I could think is like, you don't got a piece of copy paper or a laminator or something? You can't make this look a little bit more professional? We're using like duct tape and glue to hold this shit together. So it's really unfortunate to look at the disgusting nature of this gym. And I'm not going to publicly call out Anytime Fitness on Twin Peaks like that, but I'm calling out Anytime Fitness on Twin Peaks like that. It's garbage. I pay a lot of money for that membership to clean it up.
It ain't free.
No. And today,
Step your game up anytime.
today I was like, you know what? Last week the deadlift felt really good. I'm going to do more. I do not do a straight bar deadlift. I'm one of those wimps that use the deadlift bars because I don't trust my form as much as people that can do it in front of them. And I should have waited to go to the weight that I did today. I thought like, well, let's jump in. I think the last time I was in the gym, I think my heaviest was, I think it was 245. So the trap bar weighs 65 pounds. And I don't know if my math is even right here. And then 245s on either side. So I did it. I got my 6 reps in, 3 sets. And I could tell after the first set, I was like, ooh, it's already feeling a little tight back there. And then, I let it clank down a little bit on my way down. I was trying to bend my knees more and I hit the ground and I got some looks. So I was like, all right, well, let me go down slower so I don't freak everybody out, even though I know what I'm doing here. And because I went slower, I put all this weight on my back. Tyler, I'm going to be hunched over for the next week or so. Things are not okay in my lower back. I'm going to be rolling it out, percussion massager, hot heating pad, K-tape, all the things. Your 40s and lifting. And I want to announce this now. I told you before, I am officially at 41 years old, almost 42 years old, retiring from the deadlift. That was my last deadlift. It will never happen again. May it rest in peace.
It sounds like it's been a good run. I may need some of your remedies because I have an update for you. Youth basketball personal training is still happening. I would say 2 to 3 mornings per week at my local Esporta in Glendale. There are props. Of course, there's the speaker playing Drake in Future, the explicit versions only of their discographies.
You think Drake's new diss track is going to be on?
Oh my god, yeah, man! The beef with Drake going on. I would say probably not. I think the personal trainer is not going to include that on the playlist, but I wouldn't rule it out at the same time. The mom-daughter pair I told you about several episodes ago. The daughter, as a quick recap, is a 9th grade hooper at a big public high school up here. Several weeks ago, her mom approached me and asked if I would be interested in helping, kind of grow her game. She has all these coaches and, apparently a couple of trainers around. And I've now been ushered into this group, Brad. And, I'm totally anti personal trainers and the whole professionalization of youth sports, if that's the right way to phrase it. I'm just totally anti that. But she wanted to know more specifically if I would be willing to play her kid one-on-one every Wednesday morning. So I took a moment to think about it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? I'm gonna just go for it. So this has been going on for, I think this past Wednesday was maybe the 3rd time the kid and I have played one-on-one. Of course, the mom is there, and so the whole gimmick is between plays, the mom will like come in and offer some feedback to her daughter on, oh, that was really good, or oh, we need to refine that next time, go up with your left, or that sort of thing. Really cool mom, really passionate about supporting her kid. So again, all in there. I need you to know though, Brad, the first one-on-one we played, which admittedly was a few weeks ago now, I approached that initial one-on-one as if it was game 7 of the finals. And I dominated. Her daughter said, and I quote, "He's 31. He's not supposed to be that fast."
Let's go.
And I said, you're damn right. Like, I still got something left. What did Mark Henry
say? You got
a
lot left in the tank.
What did Mark Henry? I got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
I still got something.
You got to get a salmon jacket for this.
I need the salmon jacket. So I don't know what this says about me and the stage that I'm at in life, where like that's been the biggest confidence boost in my life in months. But beating the kid one-on-one, the 15-year-old, really gave me a lot. Since then, she's definitely improved and definitely gives me the business sometimes. We don't really keep score. It's just like, oh, I'm really good at shooting threes. She's really good at taking it in the lane and scoring on me. So I think it kind of evens out. But I at least had that initial run where I just dominated Brad. It was probably like 30-7 was the final score. Since then, she's gotten better. But I need you to know that that's a new element to my gym routine is Wednesday mornings. I'm playing this kid. And I suspect that by the time she hits junior and senior year, she's going to just put in work on me, and we're about the same height. So I got to maximize these opportunities while I can, because I have maybe one more year of this. But then after that, I think she's just gonna be a much better hooper than me. So we'll see how that goes.
That's an awesome story, man. That's
it worked out well. It actually is pretty fun. I'm not getting compensated for this, which I don't want to or need to. But it's for the love of the game, man. Like, obviously, we're going to talk about sports a little bit later. But when you love a sport and you meet someone who also enjoys it, there's just a shared love of that, where you just, if we're spending time doing the thing we love, why not?
I found myself, when I was younger, not enjoying those kinds of competitions at all. I would play shout out to Gloria Rhino. Gloria and I would play. She was younger than me, but she was about the same size as me. Her brother was in my grade, and he's pretty tall. So I knew Gloria was going to end up being probably taller than me anyway. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm playing ball with a girl. She's probably not going to be that good. And she just effing destroyed me every single time. Like, every single time. I would score and stuff. But it's not because she was skills wise that much better than me. I was not great or good in any way. I was fine. Like everything. I played all these different sports and did all these things, and I was fine at all of them. Not good at a single one of them, if that makes sense. And she was pretty good. I wasn't used to the physicality of the girls' game, because it is different. It is not the same thing. And everybody's like, oh yeah, girls wouldn't be able to hang in the NBA. And I'm like, if the NBA players played the same way that the girls in high school played, there would be blood on the court every single day.
They're legit.
All over. Like, that is not, I'm not being facetious. If you've played these games, you know that it's different. It's different. Yeah.
And now, this last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. What's beautiful now, and I think what is part of my enjoyment and my thought process behind doing this, is with the Asia Wilsons and Caitlin Clarks and Kelsey Plums of the world, women's hoops is really on the radar in a huge way. I think it was, what was it, Brad, like 14 plus million people tuned into South Carolina versus Iowa, the national championship game. There's just a lot.
I thought it was 18. Wasn't it more than that?
I think, I'm probably not giving them enough credit.
14 was the UConn game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
The investment, the attention, the interest in women's hoops is just at a level now that I think a lot of us have been waiting for.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so happy that
the
women are getting their
WNBA,
shine.
When Diana Taurasi is like,
amazing.
it's different. It's not going to be like that for you when you get to the WNBA.
Oh yeah, we know she's going to throw some elbows.
We are all in for this. That one
We're
comment
ready.
made that must-see TV, and we don't even know what the roster's going to look like yet.
Yes.
We have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, I can't wait for this.
I'm
stoked, dude. I'm stoked. I will be tuning in.
Before we get to the WNBA season this summer, I need to ask you, Brad Winchester, what's the current state of your patio furniture?
It's not great.
It's not great. Well, luckily, I have a solution for you. And they go by the name of Grand Patio. Grand Patio exists to ensure you're all set for the great weather and great memories this beautiful spring season. For over 20 years, Grand Patio has partnered with renowned designers to create livable and luxurious collections that can transform your backyard into a personal oasis. Their products include umbrellas, recliners, gazebos, sectionals, and much, much more. Visit our affiliate link, grandpatio.sjv.io/GIPod. And you want to be specific here. It's case sensitive, capital G, capital I, capital P, and then lowercase OD. So once again, that's grandpatio.sjv.io/capital GIP, lowercase OD, to shop their collection today.
Tyler, man, I just got done telling you about the backyard work, burning all of this tree particle debris stuff to clean up the backyard. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the backyard once it's cleaned up a little bit more. We're going to have the ability to have a fire every night for the rest of time, I believe. But we're looking forward to getting back there. But I'm also looking forward to WWE talk. They're on fire right now, man. Hit me with your WWE question.
They really are. So forewarning, I have maybe a record-setting amount of exposition here, but I promise I'm going to get to a very straightforward question. I first need to give flowers to the entire NXT roster. I finally watched Stand and Deliver, and I witnessed my early match of the year favorite. Obafemi successfully defended his North American Championship against Dijak and Josh Briggs. Brad, this was a blast. This was it wasn't even a top 3 match I was looking forward to on Stand and Deliver, if we're keeping it a buck. But this match was amazing. I just can't speak highly enough about it. It was fantastic. But now back to my regularly scheduled monologue. Cody and The Rock opened Raw with the promo duel, confirming their rivalry is not finished. Maybe a SummerSlam main event. We'll see. Tama Tonga joined Solo Sikoa to beat the brakes off Jimmy Uso.
Yes.
And Jade and Bianca might be on their way to claiming tag team dominance and thus gold. However, I'm thinking about two names, Bayley and Damian Priest, two industry vets who left Philly as two of the biggest winners from wrestling's greatest annual spectacle. Both performers have sterling reputations as performers and people from all accounts. We know that winning singles gold in wrestling, especially at WrestleMania, is a huge deal. It's effectively the company telling you, we believe in you. You're a face of our organization. Run with it. Here's my question. Who are two talents, one from the women's and one from the men's division, that you're hoping to see get their big singles moment next?
Tiffany Stratton. That was easy.
I wrote her down on mine too.
I also think Zoe Stark, but Tiffany Stratton.
Zoe Stark is a great answer.
Yeah, Zoe Stark.
Fantastic.
Zoe Stark's been around a little bit longer. It's just Tiffy Time's kind of undeniable. Zoe Stark doesn't have that Tiffy Time kind of energy. She has that I'm going to find you in an alley and beat the crap out of you energy, which I'm absolutely here for. But I think Tiffy Time has to be it. I think the obvious one there would be Jade, but I'm not ready to see that yet. I want to see her just hoss people around for a while before getting gold. I think Tiffany Stratton is great on the mic already. She's a great in-ring performer, and I think they could do something really fun with her. I wish they had a mid-card title because I'd say put it on her right now. But that's why it's so hard to figure out like who's going to have gold next, because for the women, there's not a lot of options. There's tag team gold and then the big belts. It's kind of it. So if it's but any of those people that I want to see get, a new shot at things, I'm going to say it's them. As far as Damian Priest's belt goes, I want him to have a run. I think he's earned it. He deserves it. He looks great with it. He's awesome. But man, it's got to be the man who just dropped the belt. And I don't think it's going to be Braun Breaker. I don't think it's going to be any of them. I want to see Gunther go after that title immediately. But I don't know that we should see it right away either, because he just had a run with a belt forever. So that might be something we got to sleep on and just let it build, because that moment could be really fun. Because everybody wants him to win, I think. He was a great heel character and all of those things, but I think we just are generally cheering for him. So as far as like a U.S. title or something like that, I think it would be different. But going after Damian Priest, if we're talking who would go after Bayley or who would go after Damian Priest, then I don't know. I really don't. Chad Gable. I would love to see that, right? Like, who wouldn't want to see that?
It seemed like we were going to get that moment, and maybe that's scheduled for later in the year, but we were on the precipice, and then it just didn't happen.
But I asked you a question a while ago, and I said, where the hell is Cameron Grimes? Here we are. So we got a lot of
Braun Breaker.
And Braun Breaker would be an easy one. I can see, so not Damian Priest, but I can see him being the one to murder Logan Paul. They have a match. They go in there and Braun just hits the ring 3 times so hard that the whole ring moves around and then spears Logan Paul into a new dimension.
Drinking some extra Prime that day in this hypothetical.
Yes. I want him to spear both him and a Prime bottle person
simultaneously.
Yes.
We'll probably
time
pull
and
that
space.
off.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you?
These are great names, man. So, and I appreciate you sort of thinking about how would this person get there. Quickly, these are the names that I wrote down when crafting this question. Tiffany, for sure, as well as Naomi. And granted, similar to Bayley, Naomi has held gold in the company already, but she, in my opinion, she's re-entered WWE totally different. Her Impact run, TNA run, was handled so well from TNA's standpoint, from Naomi's standpoint, that she just proved she is a star who can be a needle mover, not to use an overused term in the IWC. But Tiffany and Naomi were the first names I thought of. And then on the men's side, two guys who haven't sort of had that signature singles moment yet, in my opinion. Santos Escobar, I think he's money in every way. And then Montez Ford. And shout out to Angelo Dawkins. I feel like that's important as well. As Angelo he's just improved drastically over the years and is stellar. Montez Ford, I still see a really awesome singles run in him.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get it about 2 years ago.
They screwed his character up.
And then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I would like for him to not just be Bobby Lashley's sidekick for the rest of the year. At some point, I would love to see him break away and get that singles run and get that singles moment.
Yeah, great names. There's other people that are on the roster too that I think of that, not that this isn't a total change of the subject because it kind of is, but like Johnny Gargano, DIY is there and they do some really cool stuff. And I love all those talents. I look back at it now and I wonder if Johnny made the right move. Because his style, his size, his speed, his character makes so much more sense in AEW or even TNA, but probably AEW. So does Candice for that matter, where they both could have been really big stars. I think that they're getting lost in the sauce there because they're both really good characters and really good workers and really good on the microphone. We're just not seeing a lot of them. And I think they would be good candidates as well. I just don't know for what. Because I don't know where you put them right now, right? Like it's unfortunate because I love them just so much, their work. It's just, I don't know that it's a great fit for WWE, but now that WWE is leading more into the professional wrestling side of it, I think that could change. Johnny Gargano versus CM Punk, I think would be an incredible match. I think that would be size-wise, speed-wise, all that stuff. I think that could be a ton of fun. I just don't know if that'll ever happen.
Right. Well, and SummerSlam is going to be in Cleveland. So
there you go.
It would be awesome for Johnny and Candice to be on the card in some capacity.
Okay, Tyler, the bloodline is in disarray. AJ Styles said he's almost ready to hang it up in a recent interview. There's so many different things happening in the WWE. There's all kinds of just stuff happening. So my question, because you already brought it up earlier, what are the major storylines heading into SummerSlam?
I saw a graphic online. I forget which account, posted it, but it had 4 potential matches for SummerSlam. I don't know that we're getting all of these officially, but the idea of all this happening at SummerSlam just made me so excited to fast forward to August. It had LA Knight versus Logan Paul.
Makes sense.
A returning Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. And there was one other hypothetical match that I'm forgetting. But for me, the conversation starts with Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. I don't know if SummerSlam is too soon based on The Rock's movie schedule. And it seems like he's at a new target promoting Papa Tui every weekend. And the UFL is happening. I mean, the dude is a busy man.
Moana 2.
Yeah, yes, he's
like
busy.
It's not a small amount of work.
So I would think that Cody versus The Rock has to happen at one of the big 4, big 5 pay-per-views. To me, It feels like it's either a SummerSlam or it's a Mania.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a Rumble. Maybe it's a one-off that WWE creates. Maybe, I hope not, it's a Saudi special. But for me, I'm going to say number 1, Cody versus The Rock. I don't want them to wait too long to make that happen. I get there's something to be said for suspense and building it, but I really love their promo duel on Monday. It felt unique. It felt big time. It felt like the main event of one of their stadium shows. So that's number 1. I saw this floated out also online. I think you responded to it, Brad. I think that's why the algorithm gave it to me. The potential storyline of a 2024 Bloodline Civil War, this time with new faces. We have Jacob Fatu, assuming he goes to WWE, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos, a reunited Usos, and a returning Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That's already the goosebumps already for that. In terms of the women's side of things, that's a little bit trickier. I'm thinking of what is the Bayley match? What's the Rhea match? I would love eventually Rhea versus Bianca, Rhea versus Jade, but I should we get there that fast? I don't know. In terms of Bayley, I mean, I'm going to pass it to you, man. I would love to see. I mean, she needs to have a big time match at SummerSlam, and I want her to have the gold by then. What feud do I want to get us there? I need some time to think about that one. How about you?
Yeah.
What are the storylines that I mean, we have LWO, we have the Pride. There, like you said, there's a lot bubbling. Braun Breaker probably gets a big match at SummerSlam. What's really moving it for you?
I don't know. That's why I asked the question. I was really struggling with coming up with ideas and answers, and I think
Tiffany
it has to
versus
be
Bayley, maybe.
I think maybe, yeah, maybe that's the one. But I want to see Bayley and Rhea tear it up for Survivor Series.
Oh yeah,
I like that title versus title stuff that they do.
it's fun.
That there's no titles on the line, but it's champ versus champ. I think those are fun. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know people will be like, well, why doesn't the other person win that title? Well, because it's confusing. Just don't have titles be on the line. It's that simple. I don't know why that's difficult to comprehend. I would love to see something like that down the line, but Rhea and Tiffany, or Rhea and Zoe, we saw that, right? Like, wasn't it a bit of a squash?
We did last year.
Yeah.
It was quarter 3, quarter 4 of last year.
That was, unfortunately, that was not a memorable match, but I think that match can be a lot better. I would like to see that again, run that back, just because of their similar sizes, or if Raquel can get healthy. We know that those two can put one on again, and I always like their rivalry. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I'm kind of shocked that she hasn't held gold. So at some point, maybe Raquel and Bayley. I just don't know who's Bayley's big rival. Kyrie,
right? Liv Morgan also is
Liv, right,
is back. And
who has Bayley wronged the most over the last 4 or 5 years?
right.
I feel like that whoever that is.
This is my homework assignment. Yeah.
I don't know when Carmella's going to come back. I don't know when Alexa Bliss is going to come back, because they're mothers of newborns. So they're a possibility as well, a returning either of them, depending on what kind of, I don't know if they're going to maintain the same gimmicks. My guess is that with all of these teases of Uncle Howdy and You Forgot About Me stuff that's on the screen, I assume it's going to be Bo. Eric, did you see the thing I sent today about Eric Rowan's contract?
I did. Brother Bo's getting some backup.
Yeah, and if we reunite the cult, because I think Braun's healthy now, if he could come back as another one of the members, and Alexa Bliss is with them, we immediately have a power faction on our hands.
The puzzle pieces have been put together.
Yeah,
this is why I got the best co-host.
I'm ready for that. Please give that to me. And then I don't really care about anything else at that point. Like, let that be. But a bloodline civil war, a proper bloodline civil war, not whatever we got last time, where it was like it's a civil war, but it's just Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are involved.
Yeah. With a returning babyface Roman.
Babyface tribal chief is going to go insane.
That's going to be something.
It's going to go insane. It might end up rivaling Cody immediately at that point. That's the only thing I worry about, is keep that away from our screens for several months. Let Cody have his time. I think they might turn Cody heel anyway. The way that he reacted to whatever The Rock handed him suggested,
don't break my heart again.
Don't ever break my heart again. And then the way that Cody is like, oh man, I really did this. I'm the one that's the wrong here.
Right.
And we don't know what that is yet.
Right.
I'm sure that's happening on Raw, right? Like that story needs to continue.
100%. And I'm just, as listening to you, I thought about all these stars you're mentioning. Like you said, WWE in a really healthy place. I now remember the fourth hypothetical artwork I saw for a match. How could I forget? Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk.
It has to be the one.
I'm sure we're getting that in Scotland.
It's probably happening.
But maybe,
Clash,
yeah, like that. That is as hot of a rivalry as any of these. That match is going to be phenomenal.
It might be Seth and CM Punk then for SummerSlam.
Options, man. You just got
because he's been feuding. He's been feuding with all of them, and Seth pissed about him coming back, and then he got hurt. My guess is that it was going to be CM Punk and Seth at WrestleMania, the way that they were building that immediately.
Night one main event.
Yeah, but I've loved everything they've done so far with Punk and Drew and Seth. I know we have stuff to talk about, so we're going to keep going on that CM Punk front. But first, Tyler, we got to dig a little bit deeper. It is time once again for another edition of Digging Deeper. So play the music. Tyler, I'm going to try to be brief here. Curse of Oak Island this week. We actually watched last week's episode and this week's episode on the same night, very late night. Here's a rundown of things that are happening, and it's not specific just to these episodes. Last episode was a lot of something that led to a lot of nothing. They're over in Italy, and they're heading to, I believe, somewhere in the, I don't know, somewhere in Scandinavia, I think, Norway maybe, to look for clues. There's some Viking maps that are also Templar maps and all kinds of stuff going on here. Here's the gist. They are now making connections with archaeoastronomers who have dated the formation and the layout of this monolithic feature on the island with star patterns that date back to 1200. So they do believe that the way that this was laid out was in 1200 AD. They found items that date from that time period on the island. And they have found more artifacts all the way up to the mid 1700s and all points in between. It's absolutely crazy because still nobody knows what the hell's going on here. And they're about to start drilling into the tunnel. We're almost done with the season. I think we have 1 or 2 episodes left. Okay. It got me thinking, though, last night when we were all outside looking up at the crystal clear skies, and we could see Orion, and we could see Cassiopeia, and we could see the Dipper, and see all of these formations. Tyler, did you ever have a star fascination phase?
I did not, but when I was a kid, there was one summer I attended space camp for a few weeks.
Wow.
Here in the Phoenix area.
Amazing.
Yeah, it didn't really stick, sadly, even though an astronaut uniform is my go-to Halloween costume.
Of course.
I've worn that like every year since 2017. 2 different costumes, of course. Hygiene is important. But I did the space camp deal when I was maybe 2nd or 3rd grade, man. It was years ago. My parents will have to let me know. Let me know in the comments the exact year. But yeah, I had a space camp phase for a minute, but that was about it. Now, though, I definitely find stars and the planet and all of that incredibly fascinating. But unfortunately, between wrestling and basketball, those were my main passions, and I guess I didn't include time for stars back then.
Well, I never grew out of it. I'm still fascinated by the night sky. I still love looking up and looking up to all the things. We used to sit in my in-laws' home when we lived over at the other house. We would go out into the hot tub, especially in December, and turn all the lights off in the house, turn the backyard lights out, go in the hot tub and just look up and watch the sky. Every once in a while, you'd see a meteor and just look at it. We're in a place in Marana. There's a city light ordinance, so we're not allowed to have street lights in a lot of our communities. It's just the way it is, but it clears up the night sky. It's called like a Clear Skies Initiative, I think. It's so that you can sit outside and look up and actually see the stars instead of being in a city center where that pollutes the sky with light pollution. Then you can't see the sky at all. It's one of those, I live in New York, so I've never seen the stars kind of things. Because you can see where I live. If you go outside, you can see the glow over Tucson. You can just see this sort of light yellow orb coming up from over the city, and then out where we are, we can, on a clear night, you can see the Milky Way. So it's pretty remarkable. I love looking up and thinking about just how small we are, and it can be overwhelming if you let it be. But I've always loved the stars and the sky, and ever since you said that, I started looking up space camps for Freya. So thank you for that. I do believe I have a project on my hands after this.
I love it. Keep us posted, man.
Absolutely.
So speaking of inquiry and wonder and everything that you said, transitioning into AEW, I'm going to roll right into my question here, Brad. It was a newsworthy week in All Elite Wrestling, to say the least. Of course, the all-in footage showing the skirmish, if that's the proper term, between CM Punk and Jack Perry was the talk of the community last week. Will Ospreay, your fave, amazing, arguably the best in-ring worker today. He's fantastic. He even clapped back at Triple H's running from the grind comments. Unfortunately, the focus seemed to be on those stories and not the build to this Sunday's Dynasty pay-per-view, which, by the way, sports a pretty incredible card. Willow Nightingale seems poised to dethrone Julia Hart for the TBS title. The aforementioned Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson are clashing in a dream match, and it is absolutely time for Swerve's coronation. Brad, we find ourselves in a familiar position. This is giving 2023 All Out vibes, or I guess maybe 2022 at this point. No, 2023 All Out vibes. AEW has a strong track record of delivering excellent pay-per-views, especially when their back is against the wall and everyone's talking about everything but the in-ring action of their fantastic performers. How are you feeling as we head into Dynasty, and what are you hoping this show delivers?
Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay. That's enough to sell me a ticket. I'm going to buy it. I don't want to, but I'm going to buy it. The only other thing there that I really, really want to see is Swerve. After that, everything else is sort of like, hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise, or it'll be exactly what I think it is. And you know how I feel about AEW pay-per-views. They're always good. I'm hoping we finally get Britt back. I don't know if Jamie's healthy. I know they said that it's an insanely long recovery period for this type of injury. So we might not see her for another year. Wembley might be realistic, but I don't know. Like, cause she's been gone for a while, and CM Punk was still working there when she was there last. And that's something. So, what I would like to see is Miro, Keith Lee, the 27 other people that work there we never see, Danhausen. Danhausen might be one of the people that CM Punk referred to as being punished. I know they're close, and Danhausen's not on TV and hasn't been really much at all since Punk's return. I'm not sure what the date was. Total speculation on my part there. I just want to see him back because I think he's entertaining as hell. He's one of their top, if not their top merch mover, and put him on the screen. Freya likes it when he's there. So I think I'm like out of my mind here. I feel like it wasn't that long ago that he was on TV, but I can't remember because time has no meaning to me right now. I just want it to be a good show. And I said it last week, when you are the alternative and the thing you're alternative to is no longer that thing, what are you an alternative of if there's the exact same thing on the other channel, except the stories are better and the production value is better? AEW doesn't have very good storylines right now. They just don't. They have incredible in-ring wrestling, usually, if it's booked right. Dynamite was not a good show. Putting up a show like that, there were good matches on it, and there were some good people on it. I thought it was hilarious.
Adam Copeland versus Penta was fun.
Adam Copeland versus Penta was great, and their backstage interaction with Willow was hilarious. How Adam Copeland was not paying attention to a word Willow said, and like just took her ideas. Like, I got an idea.
We should tag together. Oh, that's what
I know. She was like,
Willow just said that,
and she was laughing and got cut off, and I was like, well, that clearly was an accident.
Yeah.
I suppose being huffing and puffing coming out of a match you just had to do an immediate promo. Yes, it was. It was
fun. Yeah,
it was a great match. It just having most of a wrestling match on the first hour, and that's kind of it, was wild.
Yeah. If you're going to show the all-in footage, and I believe you posted this online, Brad, load up that Dynamite card and make sure this is a way, if you're getting new viewers in who want the mess and want the gossip, hook them enough, no pun intended, to come back next week or to watch on Friday or watch Collision on Saturday. And I don't know if this card was the one to do that.
No, not no. I'm gonna try not to be. Yes,
because the storylines, right? It goes back to what we said. It's
stories. Yeah, they were just doing things.
All the performers can work on their roster. It's the storylines that will invest people to come back because, oh shoot, we can't miss the next development in X storyline, Y storyline.
And sometimes the storyline is I'm better than you, and that's what we're getting with Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. Whoops, haven't done that in a while. And you know what? Cool, I'm in. Perfect. At least there's something there. Otherwise, we get stuff like up top flight is wrestling so and so. Why? Because it's Saturday. We got people kissing other people. We got a lot of stuff going on. That Will Ospreay taking shots at Triple H stuff got so overblown online by people.
Yeah, how did you feel about that? I haven't really checked in with you.
Good. What do I care? Like, he can punch up. I thought Triple H punching down there was a cheap move that he shouldn't have done.
He was clearly talking about Ospreay.
He was
there was
very.
no other
People were like, "How do you know?" He didn't say a name. What the
context
get
clues,
outta
bro.
here, moron.
Context clues, bruv.
So,
Clearly
bruv,
talking
yes.
about the assassin.
But hearing like Will going, "I don't want to leave my family," and him going, "Well, I don't want to hire you if you don't respect the grind of abandoning your family." So he has priorities, man. Like, you get one family, you get multiple jobs. It's crazy to me. So I believe that ship has sailed, that bridge has been burned, all of those things. Maybe not. Maybe they could find a way. CM Punk works there now, so who knows?
Exactly.
But I definitely was caught off guard by the Triple H things. I didn't even put it together until Will did the promo, and then I was like, "Oh, dude, oh, that's what he was talking about." So there's so many things going on in AEW that aren't in the ring and aren't in the ring storylines that I don't know what's what anymore. We still have ROH stuff happening on cards. It's just very confusing. I don't know what the product is half the time, and all of their stars are gone. And luckily next week, it looks like we're starting to get a normal roster back. But Mox just won another company's championship, and Kenny's still on the shelf, and Brian's been over in Mexico, and
MJF on the shelf.
MJF is on the shelf.
Is he re-signed? We assume so, but
who knows?
That was a whole storyline.
Yeah, Claudio's been gone, but he's coming back. But we still have, again, Keith Lee, and we still have Miro, who is, every time he comes out there, that horn plays, and he's instantly and immediately over and a top guy. And he's just always gone. And I know there's stuff going on in their personal lives right now. And I just want to see these people that are really good at their jobs do their jobs. And I don't know where they are. And instead, we're getting, respectfully, we're getting kind of the B League. I feel like we're watching AEW Dark on Dynamite the last month or so. And I know, how do you build new stars if they're not on screen? Well, you have them wrestle these other stars, not each other. And that's what I feel like I've seen a lot of, is just, I don't care about these matches. Who are these people? I don't care. And I can't believe I'm even saying that right now, because it's so negative. Because every once in a while, I brought this up as an example, either to you privately or last week on the podcast. Action Andretti versus Sammy Guevara was an incredible match that I just didn't care about, that we saw live in Phoenix. Also Sammy. So I just don't know. Is Darby climbing Everest, or is he actually hurt? Was that a work so we could go climb Everest? I don't know what's happening. All I know is these people aren't on my screen. Where are they?
Yeah, I hope he's healthy. Yeah, man. I mean, what you said resonated. It's like a lot of the sports teams we root for. What is their identity?
Yeah.
By all accounts, it seems like they need to answer that question internally first. I know where the best wrestle seems to be the moniker moving forward,
Which I love.
Which is awesome and is accurate, because they have an amazing roster.
A little too WCW for me, if we're being honest. Where the boys play is
where the big boys play. Yeah, man, a lot of what you said
yeah.
stuck. I'll be fascinated to see what our conversation is next week following Dynasty, because they do have a strong track record. As recently as All Out 2023, when it seemed like the world was falling for AEW with releasing CM Punk with Cause, and then they delivered what seemed to be universally regarded as one of their best shows of the year, if not their best pay-per-view ever. So
and
we'll see what happens this Sunday.
And we're getting Claudio against Will this week, I believe.
Yes, we Dynamite. Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh.
And this card looks far superior to All Out 2023.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
by leaps and bounds, in my opinion.
Yes, it does. And right now, I love all the women champions. Yeah. I need Athena on our ROH immediately. Please. But I know she's probably the reason people are watching it. So I understand both sides, but I need her, put her in the title picture immediately in AEW, please. Tyler, mine's very quick. Are the Stardom and CMLL crossovers doing anything for you?
No. Unfortunately.
Me either.
Unfortunately. Super talented people, but my investment has just not been there.
I think it's not that they're not doing anything for me for what's happening there. It's just, on the men's side, I haven't cared. And on the women's side, I should care a lot more. And we're getting random run-ins to set up feuds and matches and stuff. But it's like, but if somebody runs in that you don't know who they are because you're not regularly watching Stardom, It's not a pop. It's just dead silence in the audience. And they have to put the Stardom logo down with their intro. And I think that's probably part of an agreement between the companies to advertise their brand. But in reality, I have to go, oh, a Stardom star whenever I see it, because I don't recognize who they are unless I really familiarize. If it's somebody like somebody wearing a tiger mask, for example, like Starlight Kid or something that's very unique and very, I recognize that gear, or people that have been there for a while, in and out for years. And it sucks because Riho's not there because she's working on her visa right now. It's really tough for me to invest myself in this when I go, I don't know what's happening. This rando just showed up into the ring with champagne and kissed people. And I don't, like, Mariah's getting smooched in the ring and I don't understand what's happening. I couldn't even say like, oh, that popped me. I was just like, I was so confused by it.
By the spooch.
That it was like, am I watching? What year is this? Is this 97 Raw?
Mm-hmm,
what just happened to me here?
Mm-hmm. And for me, in conclusion, I think part of why I'm not enjoying it as much as I want to or should is going back to your point about missing the talent from the past 5 years who I've grown to love, whether it's Britt Baker or Keith Lee or whomever. It's like, oh, well, and it's very possible injuries or personal reasons are barring them, and it's not our place to know that. But it's just like, oh man, where are those folks? But
not Ethan Page. He's wrestling. Where is he?
Ego.
Yep.
Well, speaking of missing things, Brad, we have a huge what happened here. We definitely want to make sure we have time to discuss 3 hot button important topics from the week. So I already gave it away. Let's get into it. Let's play the music. It's time to bring back what happened here.
What happened here?
All right, Brad, different format. 3 topics. I'm going to list them out, and then I want your thoughts on each. In this week's edition of What Happened Here, news from the Golden Bachelor. Gary and Teresa have divorced after just 3 months of marriage. I feel hoodwinked and bamboozled and led astray. The marriage has dissolved, according to Gary. They did a joint interview this past week on Good Morning America. They're no longer an item. The Arizona Coyotes are moving to Salt Lake City, Utah. And by proxy, allegedly, there are reports that the Tucson Roadrunners, a team you have a great affinity for, are potentially moving up north to Tempe, Arizona. And then the final What Happened Here candidate, Allen Iverson, my childhood favorite, finally got a statue in Philadelphia in front of the arena. The unveiling of said statue left a lot to be desired. The statue looks more like a trophy.
It's like a collector's edition trophy.
It looks like a collector's edition trophy. It looks
like they bronzed an action figure.
It looks like one of the
starting lineup
that
like
I got
starting lineup
from NYS back in the day at the end of the season. Capri Sun, Rice Krispie treat, and then my trophy.
Yeah. With the glue-on engraving.
Yes. Yeah. I even saw someone on the timeline say, that's not Allen Iverson, that's Calvin Cambridge, Lil Bow Wow's character from Mike in the 2000s.
I said that's not the answer, that's the question.
That's exactly what you said. There were so many good captions, and I was like, I can't even contribute here. You all of you already won the timeline. Man, but like I said, Brad, want your thoughts. 3 candidates for what happened here. We couldn't go without sharing each of them. Wherever you want to start, wherever you want to conclude this, need your thoughts on all of them.
For The Bachelor, first of all, Leslie was right. Second of all, I was right. Third of all, okay. The Coyotes. I don't feel bad about 3 months. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't give a shit. 3 months. Out of here. I got milk older than that in my fridge. Okay. The Coyotes moving is a huge blow. We knew this was coming. As soon as the citizens were like, no, we're not paying for your arena because it's Arizona. Arizona universally despises any kind of taxes to improve any kind of anything. So of course they're not going to be like this voluntary arena for ice in the desert. So I understand why they didn't vote it in, but they're going to lose a ton of business. I don't care if the Roadrunners are going up there or not. If Tucson loses another minor league team, I don't know that any minor league team will ever move into Tucson ever again. I've been of the mind that they should just tear down the entire Keno Sports Complex, turn it into a parking lot, and just, I don't know, leave it there, and then go up north to Marana, where there's a ton of better views, easier access, and plan out an arena or a sports complex or a sports facility that would attract Cactus League games, and maybe get another minor league baseball team back here, just because it's in between Phoenix and downtown Tucson, like kind of halfway between, if you're going to go honestly driving that far, and have it be there and do something with that. But if the Roadrunners go back up there, it was named the Roadrunners after the Phoenix Roadrunners, so this isn't that big of a surprise. And I'm just sad if they leave, that'll leave the Arizona Ice Cats, Wildcat Hockey, and that's it. And that bums me out because we've lost a lot down here. And finally, that AI statue is when they unveiled it, and Allen Iverson was standing there going like this and looking around it, I realized he could catch every angle by tilting his head because it's so small. And I thought that was hilarious. I kept thinking he was maybe looking at where was this manufactured stamp on the bottom of it, or looking for a tag to cut off, because it is pathetically small. Very, very stealable.
Extremely. Maybe all of the above. Brad, what did we miss?
Oh man. Okay, I got a list. Let's see. What did we miss? Oh, we missed. We referenced the eclipse. We didn't really get to talk about it. I wonder how many eye problems happened because of the eclipse. The Drake track. Do we know if it's real yet or if it's AI?
I've not seen any confirmation.
Okay. The Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime is incredible. It is so good. Absolutely amazing. Best video game adaptation of anything ever. And I don't even think of it as a video game. They created a world there that felt authentic and real. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I've
seen the ads for it. Looks intriguing.
It is so good. It is so good.
Okay. I got you.
The character development is amazing, and the world they created is awesome. X-Men 97, the animated series. Shout out to Warren for fellow 19 media member and co-founder Warren Shaw. Also loving this show. When I saw that he endorsed it, I was like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta watch it. Yeah, it's the best version of X-Men that's ever crossed a screen. It's incredible. And I was rewatching I wasn't rewatching anything. I was watching The Mandalorian behind the scenes. Tyler, I realized how much I missed the character of Cara Dune. So much. This character was so good. She was a battle-hardened rebel who no longer had a war to fight. And she's doing mercenary work, and she's a badass. And I miss seeing her, unfortunately played by Gina Carano, which is why we haven't seen her.
I remember that name.
And I just miss that character. I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm really struggling with this because I really miss that character. Finally, Chris Jericho with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not a fan of seeing this non-political entity of Chris Jericho. But I did think it was funny that people were roasting the picture. I'm not going to say why. You can find it on your own, but I did chuckle at it.
I have to shout out Warren as well. I also discovered that he and I share a show we love. It's All American on the CW. It's fantastic. I'm so glad Warren is into these kind of soap opera-esque dramas. It's so good, Brad. I think you would loathe it, but it's about football and relationships. And it started out as a high school show, but now they're adults. It's a whole thing, man. My one main item.
Scripted?
Scripted?
Yeah, is it scripted or is it reality?
100% scripted.
Oh, I might be into it. Like, okay. I just can't stand reality TV.
Yeah, the 6th season started recently. Maybe I need to give you more credit. There are 100 episodes in, really good, every Monday. I recommend everybody check it out, and Warren endorses it too. The main item, though, in terms of what we missed, Ashe Wrestling is back this week with their third show. This Friday at 4:30, it's Ashe Cosmos. You can purchase your streaming link at AsheWrestling.com. That's ASE Wrestling.com. The main event is Sonny Kiss versus Darius Carter. But Kiera Hogan's going to be on the show. TNA's Kevin Knight is back. And, of course, there are more talent scheduled to appear this Friday. But it was a great week, man. It was a great episode for us. We covered a lot, as we always try to do. We thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you'll join us again for the next edition of GI. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.